Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Mercury retrograde can go fuck itself.
Mercury who?
Absolutely.
Mercury can fuck off.
Ain't nothing gonna break him my stride. We got it all taken care of. Oh my goodness. Can I just say though, I don't know how it's affecting all of you, but I feel like, what is it, Eeyore right now? Just like a dark cloud with that and like another full moon. It is just like so much where I just want to, every time I like get ready to go teach, where I'm just like, I want to tell my students, like, I can't be present for you right now. The moon, the planets, they're all, everything is going wrong.
Everything is fucked.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that. They just want to be like, okay, sure, whatever. You could just say you're hungover, Miss Johnson. Like,
Right.
anyways.
Like, no, it's the moon. It's...
Oh my god, also, okay, anyways, welcome to Into the Twilight, where we talk about moon
Hi.
news.
Exclusively.
Just moon news.
This is everything I could have ever wanted.
We have an amazing guest who's here. Emily, hello, welcome.
Hi.
I'm so glad that you are here. Before I introduce you, how do you feel about the moon?
I love her.
Okay.
Yes.
She deserves everything.
I'm so glad that I don't have to kick you off this call. I feel like that should be our precursor from now on, Cody, when we ask people to join this podcast.
Right.
Is like, we see that you vaguely like Twilight, aka you hate it, but like you're here, you know?
Right.
But how do you feel about the moon, though?
Yeah, that's the most important question, really. Yay, nay on the moon.
Right, exactly.
How we
I feel like it's a good prerequisite.
Right, it's a good litmus, you know?
Exactly.
What kind of a person are you? Are you a monster or do you love the moon, right? Like,
Are you waking up every day with the intention to honor your wife, the moon?
right.
Or are you a sinner?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Emily, how do you feel about the moon news? This is a science podcast now.
I was so excited. I took one, like, what's it called? Astronomy class in college, and
Damn.
now, like, I can only think about the stars and the planets and the moon.
Yeah.
So, it's great.
I love a they, them, and
I was so
STEM.
excited, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. I always wanted to do that. I loved the people who in college always got astronomy and astrology mixed up and would come in to astronomy the first day and they were like, fuck yeah, let's talk about moon signs. And the professor was like, oh no, baby. No.
Oh, God. I'm so
I
sorry.
am not Miss Trelawney. Like, no. So sorry.
You gotta talk with your advisor before you just walk in here.
You have...
What do you think you're doing?
No. You gotta read that course description.
This is gonna be a bad time for everyone here.
Oh my god. I love it so much. Emily, it has been a joy to watch you over the past, like, month plus on TikTok. For folks who may not have jumped on to the TikTok train yet and have fallen in love with your content yet, can you let folks know who you are and what you do?
Yes. So I am TikTok user Edward Cullen, but
Hell yeah.
spelled weird because that was taken.
Could you
much to my
imagine?
chagrin. See, I was like very active on Tumblr back in the day, so I had all of these like very specific character URLs saved. So as
yeah.
soon as I
Take
like
me
got
back.
onto Twilight TikTok, I was like, I gotta see what's available. Unfortunately, everything was taken. Anyway,
It'd be like that.
Yeah.
I make videos on TikTok, just making stupid jokes to like Schitt's Creek and Drag Race audios, which are two of my favorite things. I mean, I'm a fairly small account, but I just, I'm expressing myself, and it doesn't really matter if you have a ton of followers.
It does not.
It's about that creative outlet, baby.
Exactly, and with the way that the world is right now, it's good to have that little pocket of joy that I can just, like, access anytime I'm feeling a little sad. So, yeah.
Absolutely. When times are as bad as they are now, it's good to regress into safe spaces.
Exactly. Yes.
Totally.
And now I'm living at home again in my childhood bedroom, so it's like come full circle.
One of my favorite things about the videos that you make are the audio choices that you use, because I never imagined the kind of intersections of Twilight and Drag Race, but they are there and they are strong, and I love it so much. And it brings me a lot of joy.
Thank you.
Not to mention your
just,
makeup, which is fantastic at all times.
You. Thanks. I try.
You do, and it is strong.
Thank you.
One of the things that we like to do on the show, not only in general, but also, like, especially this year, has been to talk about how we are doing and also things that bring us joy, because we need it. And so I wanted to ask you about how you are doing and if there's something that has brought you joy recently.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I mean, it's been definitely weird being in quarantine and just like working from home. But something very exciting. My family is getting a puppy this weekend.
What?
That's great.
Yeah.
What kind?
We've been trying for like months. It's a Beagle Rottweiler mix. Very like unexpected, but it's the cutest dog ever. I'm sure I'll post like a million videos about it.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love dogs.
But yeah. Me too. We have a Beagle now, so she's gonna have a baby.
That is exactly what I think you need at this time. Is just like a small little burst of life. That sounds amazing. Do you know what you're going to name them?
So we're thinking like a Halloween angle because we're getting it on Halloween.
Ooh, yes.
So actually, funny that you were talking about the moon. One of our options for the girl is Luna.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. It's a great dog
but we
name.
have no option for boys, so it better be a girl.
Amazing. I love it. Cody, how the hell are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. My happy thing this week is a little wild,
Okay.
a little fun, a little fresh. It's something amazing that I saw on Twitter today. Apparently, Shelley Duvall, actress, most known for The Shining, but also most every movie from the 70s and 80s.
Yes.
Icon woman. Has listened to Carly Rae Jepsen and likes it.
I'm...
So that has just taken up like 95% of my brain capacity in the last like 6 hours since I learned this information. This information comes from a friend, Colin, who runs Tease and Sen, which is like a movie t-shirt company. It's great. But he has a shirt that says just Shelley Duvall on it. For some happenstance, a friend of his was going to meet Shelley Duvall and drop off one of those shirts.
Sure.
And he texted him being like, hey, make sure you play her Everything He Needs by Carly Rae Jepsen. Just so like we can get the data on that, a yay nay on that. And it turns out she listened to it and loved it. So
Wow.
That's just my whole brain forever now. I'm just going to be thinking of Shelley Duvall fucking vibing to Carly Rae Jepsen.
That, I think that clicks into place a lot of things. It's not surprising, but I love it a lot.
Yes. It's a very powerful energy, and I am obsessed with it.
Wow. I do like the idea of what is her fucking name? Olive Oil, right? Just like really vibing on the ship to Carly Rae
Totally.
Jepsen.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just a real mood.
Yeah, I think that would fit.
All
very
you
well,
need
actually.
is Carly Rae Jepsen with a sword and olive
Yes.
oil, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
Just a real powerhouse.
I think that's a wonderful match.
God
so there's
bless.
my joy. Yeah. How are you doing, dude? What's up?
Oh, I'm just living.
Yeah.
Like a real teapot about to boil, you know? Just like
Sure. Yeah.
just like really hissing away, you know?
Yeah, it's such a specific mental picture, but I get it. I totally get where you're going. there.
You know, like when this comes out, we're gonna be you know, one day before, you know, 24 hours out.
Yeah.
And so, you know, just
Yeah.
so, you know, often, you know, a lot of companies right now are just like vote.
Right.
And just not saying who for.
Right.
So that's just like a real good treat. It just makes me like really angry and stuff. But I'm good. One thing that's brought me a lot of joy today, especially, was opening up our email and seeing the
Just a
best
gift.
thing. Seeing the best gift from one of our listeners, who I think goes by Kenna.
Sure.
Honest to God, I'm so sorry. With just the best image I could have ever seen, and it is a pumpkin with a carving in it, as some might imagine. And the email said, among other things, I'm mainly here because I have spent way too long carving Tracksuit Rob into a pumpkin and felt that I needed to share this atrocity with you, so enjoy.
Oh my god.
This. I'm looking at this pumpkin. The detail
is immaculate.
unparalleled. Like, this is an artist. This is artistry.
How does it feel to be so talented, first of all?
Yeah.
This should be in the MoMA.
It should.
Like,
This is modern art at its finest. And it's also my favorite type of art, where it's like people that are incredibly talented doing just stupid stuff. Like, just really like using like amazing like techniques and intricacies and shading and just putting all that work and effort into something that is Tracksuit Rob on a pumpkin. It makes me so happy.
The way that the highlights are used on his face are unbelievable. Because it looks so much like Tracksuit Rob, but also this like tethered version of him. And it is unbelievably hot. Like it's like it's staring at, it's what, you know what? Actually, I realized what it reminds me of is that man in a woman with a pitchfork image.
Oh,
where
my
the
American
eyes,
Gothic.
yes, where the eyes move with you.
eyes just follow you. Oh my god.
I feel like I could
Totally.
not have this pumpkin in my home because I'm pretty sure pumpkin Tracksuit Rob, the eyes would move with you.
Totally. Yeah, that would give me nightmares for sure.
Absolutely. This really is too spooky. It has brought me joy and also terror, and that's the exact vibe I'm looking for, actually.
Yeah.
That is the kind of balance that I want in my life. It seems appropriate.
I think that's fair.
Emily, I have approximately 17 questions for you about your Twilight backstory. I'd like you to share in your experience first to see if these are answered from your retelling of this first.
Yeah. So I first got into Twilight in middle school, like pretty much everyone else. And I would read the books in class to my friends. And I remember once I got to Breaking Dawn, my mom would not let me read it because there was sex in it. So I would have friends like call me and like read the sex scenes to me over the phone. So yeah, it was great. And then once I hit high school, I was like, oh, that's like, Twilight's like so lame, whatever. So then I got into Glee, which is, you know, just as bad.
Yeah, more sex.
More sex, more just, you know, whatever. But then finally, like, just like badgering my mom, I got to read it. I went to all of the midnight premieres. I went to a Eclipse movie release celebration at Borders Bookstore.
Oh, rip.
Got all my merch.
Hell yeah. Pour one out.
I mean, like, now I'm back into it, and I just, like, it's just better to make fun of it. It's so much more fun to like Twilight as an adult than it is, like, a 12-year-old, because you just, like, realize how bad of a piece of media it is, and it's just, it's so much more fun to make fun of it than actually like it.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. I think back when I started liking it, I was like, I'm liking this because I want to be with these people for the rest of my life.
Right.
And now it's like,
exactly.
I like it for the bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. That's amazing. I have a few questions. One, I heard from a bird, aka one of your TikToks, that in 6th grade you won the biggest Twilight fan award.
I sure did.
Could you expand on that?
Yeah. So, like, any gay kid, I was very, like, dependent on my English teacher.
Yeah.
As an English teacher, I know that feel.
Yeah, so she gave me that award at the, like, final ceremony of 6th grade when, like, everyone's getting, like, all of these academic awards, like, best reader or, like, best at math, stuff like that. I was never, like, you know. And then my parents didn't come to that award the ceremony because, like, I wasn't getting any awards. And then I come home and I was like, I got biggest Twilight fan. Are you proud?
Oh my god.
So yeah, it was just kind of like a gag award, I guess, because I don't know, but yeah, I did. It's my biggest achievement.
Your accomplishments are valid. First of all,
Yep.
Own your truth.
Thank you.
I love that is a real award that you got, a real academic award for being a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And also that you got to come home and just gloat about it. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, fuck you. This is real.
It was all worth it.
It's on my permanent record, so.
Exactly.
Honestly, put it on your resume. Like, fuck it. Just.
I should. Put it on my LinkedIn account.
Yes.
Totally. Oh my god. Yeah.
I would love to put that on my LinkedIn account. Are you kidding me? This is one actually that I would like you to put on your LinkedIn account. I also heard from a bird that you every day in middle school kissed an Edward poster.
For a good amount of time, yes. I did.
Okay. Could you walk me through how the finer details of that, please?
Yeah, well, first of all, I need to stop oversharing on the internet. Second of all...
Yeah, these have consequences, Emily, okay? Like, you can't just post stuff and not expect us to question
exposing
it.
myself.
Listen, this is a
Whatever.
safe, non-judgmental space. I know it comes off judgmental. That's more so just my voice. It's just questions out of curiosity and wonder.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I had it, like, right above my head where I slept, and I'd be like, good night, Edward, and I'd go to sleep. Like,
Oh my god.
yeah.
Now, just walk me through this a little bit. Did you imagine that Edward was going to sleep? That he was there catching spiders? I just want to know a little bit more about the situation that was happening here.
I think, like...
Because this is some sweet baby angel shit
I just
that
wanted
was
him... Like, I just, like, wanted to be Bella, and I just wanted him to, like, show up in the corner of my room and just watch me sleep. I don't know, like...
That's
I just...
very pure.
That's what I envisioned him doing, like, up on my wall, like, just hanging up in the corner, like, watching me, making sure no spiders crawled into my mouth.
I love it. I love it. I think that... Is that a poster still in your childhood bedroom now?
No, unfortunately, I took it down and replaced it with a Chris Colfer poster, so...
It'd be like that sometimes.
Gross.
Yeah, hey, you know?
Yeah.
Just one blushing bride for another, you know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Thank you for sharing those. Again, this is a safe space. It will be shared out with a lot of people, but again, this is... we will not judge you here.
You know what? It's fine. I've accepted my fate.
Speaking of childhood things to judge about, this is not breaking news, but it is news to talk about.
Yeah, it's news to us.
It is news to us. I don't know that I would call it surprising, but it is news to us. There are some photos going around on TikTok, as well as they were shared with us on Twitter. Robert Pattinson was a leash baby. And I feel like we need to talk about this.
Yeah. Again, not surprising.
It is not surprising.
Not surprising
Like,
at
that
all.
checks out with how he ended up and with who he is in general.
When I think about him being a leash baby, and now to him wanting to be having a ballerina inside him, smelling like a crayon,
Yeah.
wanting to be spit on, like it's just a linear track.
Yeah. This all led up to
Yeah.
this moment.
It is specifically that, like, domino meme.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This photo of him is like the stock photo for like English children. Like this could have been taken, I feel like, at any year.
Absolutely.
And would have been representative of young English boys like living their truth.
His hair looks dyed at this time. It's so blonde.
It does.
It's so blonde.
It is hard to imagine that he was this blonde at some time. And also that his eyes were so youthful.
Well, he is a child in this photo. That is a baby.
Now, I told you at some point that I knew what he looked like when he was born. I told you with certainty that I
That's
knew
true.
that he
You
did
were
not
there,
cry when he was born. And I still believe that. Because this baby does not look like they cried when they were born.
Sure.
Because I will say, just looking at this, it does confirm my suspicion. Those are very sad eyes.
Yeah, totally.
Like, that baby's been through it.
Yeah. I mean, that also can be said of really any baby photographed on a leash in public. I feel like that tends
That's
to
true.
be the default expression.
Yeah, that's true. That I think, honestly, if you change the filter on this and you put Angel by Sarah McLachlan behind this, different mood. Like,
oh my god.
it could be a serious cry for help.
Please help this boy.
For 25 cents a day, you could let him use the leash and he could walk himself away from this awful situation.
Oh god.
Anyways, this photo is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Just Robert's really sad eyes. In the eventual time that I ever get a chance to meet him, I'm just going to ask him about this photo that he does not remember.
Yeah. Sir,
also-
sir. Care to comment on this?
Please explain
Tell
yourself.
me about your leash kid days.
Please explain yourself on why there's a teddy bear on this leather leash you were wearing at age 3, sir. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I am so excited. Emily, are you interested in playing a game with us?
Yeah, let's do it.
Fuck yes.
Hell yeah.
This is a game. I'm not expanding any further.
Yeah, great.
No, this is a game that was co-created by 2 BuzzFeed writers who are finally demanding for the public that it's time we decide once and for all if these pop culture vampires are spooky, sexy, or just plain sad.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
This is engagement reporting at its finest. Like, community
Absolutely.
outreach. Like, this is what it's all about, baby.
Absolutely. I am so excited for this.
I have it up.
Yes.
Great. Emily, would you like to start us off?
Of course. So the first one we have is Edward Cullen from Twilight. Is he spooky, sexy, or sad?
Sad, obviously. No
Like
question.
The ultimate sad boy.
Yeah.
He's
the
definitely sad.
capital S sad.
There's no argument on that, and I don't even need to see the public
No.
results. Obviously, they are correct, that everyone else
Right.
seems that way.
They
but
are.
We've never been wrong. So.
Yes. All right, Cody, would you like to go next?
Yes. What about Rosalie?
Sexy.
Sexy for sure. Sexy for sure.
Period.
I mean, there's no question about it.
Yeah. Look
No.
at her.
Like, in the wedding dress with the red eyes.
Ugh.
Come on.
Oh my god.
Come
At her
on.
That's when I
strongest.
knew.
Come on.
Ugh, chef's kiss.
Yes. And the people
Like,
are
that's
with
so
us.
sexy.
One of my personal favorites, and I know that this is
I
a
fucking knew it.
I know this is a controversial take. It is something that has been a constant debate on this show for the past 4 years, of Nosferatu.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
And I already know that some of you might say that Nosferatu is spooky. Some of you might say that Nosferatu is sad. But I
Sure.
have gone down on this ship for the past 4 years that Nosferatu
This is my truth.
can get it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that he's sexy.
You are standing with 3% of respondents in your truth. 1,000 people.
They're all
In addition
me.
to you, right? How many fucking alt accounts are you making for this? How many browser tabs do you have open right now, you motherfucker? Like, what?
You know that I only keep 4 browser tabs open at a time, but I did do it very slowly and very methodically.
But I have been refreshing. I cannot believe that even I was fully expecting there to be like one, just you. Like, 1,000 is too many. That's too many. That's far too many. Even if it's
I
3%,
feel
it's
seen.
far
I mean, at
too
least
many.
you know you're not alone in that.
Yep, I feel seen. That's
I
great.
don't need people encouraging this behavior.
Emily, would you like to choose another vampire?
Let's do Stefan Salvatore
Hell yeah.
from the
Sure.
Vampire Diaries. I think that he's sad, but I know that many people also think that he's sexy.
He looks
Yeah,
which
really
I
I
feel
would
like
not
sex-
disagree with either.
Yeah, sexy I feel like is
But he's
too
very
obvious
sad.
of a choice. He's got sad eyes. He's got a sad soul. There's
He
something
looks
in
really
He
sad.
does. But everybody here says he's sexy, so
Yeah, can't trust anyone.
Interesting.
he's definitely not spooky, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. What is your next pick, Cody?
I'm gonna do Nadja from What We Do in
I
the Shadows.
Fucking knew it.
Yeah, because she is clearly sexy. Sexy.
Absolutely.
Sexy.
It's a sexy
For sure.
vampire. And the people largely agree. But also kind of close to sad, which is also, I feel like, fair.
That's
But
they're
I feel
not
like
wrong.
mostly. They're not wrong, but it's definitely just edging out sexy, you know?
I agree. Now, I see that they have put Count on here.
Yeah.
And I everyone knows how I feel about Count. Count can get it.
Yeah. Right.
I'm not going to do that because that's a little too played out.
Yeah, sure.
So, I'm instead gonna do Marceline.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I am just
Yeah.
not fully convinced that Marceline is not a minor.
True.
Very true.
Marceline is cute and a moment, and I am looking respectfully, but I'm gonna say spooky.
Yeah, looking respectfully and legally spooky.
Yeah.
This is a good list. This is a good roundup of people.
Yeah.
Thank you, BuzzFeed, for always coming through on here.
Yeah.
And answering the important questions.
It's true.
Yes. As we are transitioning here into Midnight Sun, we have a question that someone asked just for you, Emily, of
Yes.
what part of Midnight Sun / the Twilight story itself do you think was most improved by being told from Edward's perspective instead of Bella's?
You know, I think that, like, my main thing when I was reading the first one was, like, I want to know what's going on in Edward's head. Like, so I just think the fact that we got that point of view is great, but I think I don't know. I think it gives Edward a bit more depth as a character and lets us know, like, how his side of the story went out, and, like, not us, like, lusting over him from Bella's point of view, but, like, for who he is as a character.
Right. How are you feeling about Midnight Sun so far?
Okay, so I finished it. I thought it was a hot mess, but that being said, like, I just had to keep going.
Right.
I had to know, like, what was gonna happen, even, like, you know.
It'd be like that sometimes.
But
Yeah.
I remember reading it when it was leaked, like, in 2009, and I was like, oh, I need this whole book. And then Stephanie Meyer took fucking 15 years to write it.
That partial draft 4 hit different.
It did.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yes, I agree. I think that it feels complete now, having it be from both of their perspectives. But it definitely... I also don't feel the kind of, like, closure that I expected, just because it's not good.
Yeah.
So that's not helpful as well. It's... I falsely had assumed when Cody and I saw the page amount, there was a part, at least of me, that I was like, oh, dope, we get the whole series in one book. Cool.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, no, it's just all Twilight from Edward's perspective. And there isn't as much new as I thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting choice for this being the third reiteration of, like, the same story.
Right.
Oh, Stephanie. She's an interesting character there. For this week's chapters, we're, like, really... shit's, like, really getting it on here.
Mm-hmm.
When we last left off, there was a lot of sad Charlie.
Yes. Ugh.
We get a pause on Bella's acting and, like, Ocean's 11, even though we hear a little bit more about Bella's Ocean's 11 moments in the airport, at least from Edward's side this time. I will say, this first chapter of chapter 25 feels like a different book.
Yeah. Totally.
I agree.
Because this first chapter of chapter 25 is, like, technically new stuff. Because it's Bella's off, like, ready to throw herself to James. And so it's all of Edward being like, oh no, my bae. But it feels, this is like Stephanie in her moment. She's like, great, I'm in the desert. I get to talk about cars. I get to talk about the blacktop. And it's all weirdly horny, which I was not expecting.
Yeah.
The only thing I could justify while I was reading this is that she had on, or maybe her sons had, Fast and the Furious on while she was writing this, and it just somehow bled into her writing, because this felt like a different vibe.
Yeah, it's like the pacing on it is totally different. Like, it feels... And here's the thing, too, that, like, I noticed, especially indicative in this chapter, but, like, any chapter that has, like, any sort of action, I feel like is like 10, 15 pages, right?
Yes.
And it's super speedy and everything's moving and things are happening and you're like, all right, cool, we're moving along, like things are going on. And then it's over. And you're like, what? Wait, whoa. We have interesting stuff here. Why are we rushing this? And then meanwhile, there's like a 40-page fucking chapter of like, oh, I'm just gonna like vibe out here and think my thoughts and have a crisis and whatever. And it's like, motherfucker, what? Why? The priority's here. What's going on?
Especially when it seems like her strength seems to be in these action moments.
Yeah, right.
Of, let's talk about the tense flipping cars. Like, she actually seems to be good at these things, but instead, she wants to spend 40 pages talking about counting bugs. Like, ma'am, nobody actually wants that. Like, it's clear when you're actually passionate about something, and it helps us as a reader, because I definitely found myself in this chapter reading a lot faster because of the fact that the pace was up, and I was like, dude, like, you could have done that this whole time.
Yeah.
That at least would have made these 600, almost 700 pages go by faster. But instead it was like Edward being sad boy this whole time, and it was like, oh my god. Like, it took forever.
Yeah.
So embarrassing. Anyways, the start of this was wild. For the fact that the Cullens are so rich and so old and apparently so cultured, Edward describes this plane like he's never been on a plane before.
It is so foreign to the concept of planes.
He is like, these rows have windows and the shades are down. And I got a hoodie at the airport's gift shop, which, okay, first of all, pause. What do you think is on that airport shop hoodie? Because you know he got it obviously at the Seattle airport.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be one of those hokey, just like terrible font with like Seattle all over the chest or whatever.
It's got to be.
Maybe the skyline, something.
Yeah.
Just totally. And it was like $70, right?
Like, yeah. Emmett held one up that was like, someone who loves me very much went to Seattle and got me this sweatshirt.
Yes.
Like,
oh my god, yes.
I love
He's like, you should get this one.
Yeah, like, while we're at the airport, let's, like, have a little fun here. I want a full, like, shopping scene. I want them just, like, vibing, like, in between stuff, like, going into the gift shop or, like, getting really overpriced, like, vending shit. Like, I want it.
I want to see Kellen Lutz trying on 6 different bucket hats. And Emmett being like, and Edward being like, no, please, God.
Yeah.
Please don't. And just, like, I want to see, like, I don't know. I want to see...
Emmett's getting booze on the plane. Like, yes! Like, I want more detail stuff. These are the things I want you to expand on.
I want
Not Edward's fucking sad boy shit. I don't care.
I want Emmett forcing Edward to, like, juggle water in the gift shop when someone isn't looking. Just because he, like, lost a dare or something. Just, like, give us something, please. Anyways... all of this, like, bit in the airport is all sad boy. He's like, oh no, I saw that Bella left. Oh, yeah. Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no. And it's all, like, sad stuff. The way that he describes, though, all 5 of them, he's like, oh yeah, we were moving in an intimidating formation. It's like,
oh my God.
Edward, did you know that people, like, families move really quickly and also really slowly in packs in airports all the time? You're not standing out.
It's not a thing specific to vampires. That's being in a group of people going to some place that you have to be in a quick amount of time. Like, what? Unless they're in, like, a fucking V formation, like fucking birds or some shit. Like, there's nothing intimidating about just, like, 5 bros chilling out going to the plane. Like, what?
Yeah, Edward, the only thing that would have made you blend in more is if you were wearing matching t-shirts. Stop it.
Oh my god.
All the families in an airport move in formation. Stop it. The only thing that makes you stand out is the fact that you aren't all, like, yelling and don't have, like, sunglasses on your heads. Knock it off. You're annoying. The actual, like, car chase parts, though, are wild.
Real Fast and the Furious energy.
There's a lot of numbers. There's a lot of brand names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Stephanie, this is not new for her. She does love to, like, whip out a Nissan 350Z. Like, it's, like,
Sure.
radio stations, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And it's very, to me, it always comes off as, like, I'm not like the other girls. I know car names.
I know things about cars.
I know.
I can tell the difference between cars.
Sorry.
It's like, okay, flex, Steph. Fuck.
Sorry, I'm not like the other girls. I know what go-go juice is.
Stop. Stop it.
I know that there's something called nitrous, and you have to press it, and sometimes it makes a car go zoom zoom. Sometimes.
Oh my god. Insane.
I did love that the buttons were called Go-Go 1 and Go-Go 2 because
Go-Go
that
2.
very much felt like a rich man did that.
Sure.
It felt very on brand.
Oh my gosh.
There was a part, I want to say, like 4 or 5 pages in, where Edward, aka Stephanie, just goes in on these highways. He was like, I could say this for Arizona. The sun, ridiculous, but the freeways, exceptional. And it was like 6 wide, smooth lanes. And it was like there was this description of a woman or something with, it was all like the shoulders are ample and the sides are good. And it's like, what is it happening? I hate it.
It's like, was this written by the tourism board of Arizona?
It
Like,
felt
what
like
the
it.
fuck is happening here?
I'm pretty sure when we get to the end and that's the acknowledgements, the Phoenix, like, Tourism Association is going to be in there.
Yeah, almost
I
certainly.
would not be
I hate it
surprised.
so much. There, especially when, I think it's, like, right after that, too, Edward was like, there are a couple of twig-like trees, and they're just barely hanging on for life in gravel. I can't see what the fuck Bella's talking about beauty here. I don't even have the time to try, because I'm going 180 miles an hour on the freeway. I don't give a fuck who dies. I'm like, dude, stop. It's like noon. Anyways, they're trying to go as fast as possible, obviously, because Bella's trying to get to James and die. But we had several questions about this, understandably so.
Yeah.
About Edward is trying to smoothly change cars because they're setting up several roadblocks.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do that, sorry, Stephanie's writing makes me yawn sometimes. In order to do that, they have to, what is it? They had to, like, move someone's car over to the shoulder, not subtly, but like
No.
veer them over. And in the process of doing that, Carlisle does a hit.
Does a real bad drugging
Yeah.
situation?
Yeah.
Also, before we even get into that, the way that Edward describes this moment is haunting and horny.
It
I
is.
hate it. It's like she had 1 second to react to the fact that the most handsome man she'd ever seen was responsible for running her off the road. It's like, buddy, what? That's what we're focused on right now? That Carla's just so sexy? Like,
Yeah, and they're supposed to be straight.
yeah.
Sure.
Listen, interesting.
Okay.
Interesting choice.
So we had several people ask us about this because they were understandably shocked that sweet Daddy Carlisle would have done this.
Yeah.
Of just used his med kit to just fucking drug a woman. And I understand.
And then just leave her on the side of the road.
Yeah, this helpless woman.
Just on the shoulder of a freeway.
Just trying to get
car
home
chase.
from work, you know? Just trying to live her life.
Yeah. It was terrifying. And I get it, because I also was like, there was nothing wrong with her. She was not injured.
Yeah.
He was not doing her a kindness.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened all at once, of her being like, sorry, what? And then just getting drugged. Emmett throwing a car into traffic.
Yeah.
Thankfully, no one died. But it seemed like other people were injured based on Alice's visions there. And then they continue in I think it was like an SUV or something, onto fake roads, like Cactus Road. Fake roads. Continuing going ridiculous speeds to try and get to the ballet studio as fast as possible. The thing that I found wild about this is I think there's a part where Edward is asking for as many possibilities as Alice can muster up, because he's trying to turn, and I think he describes it as, like, finally when he does it, it's like, he says it's like moving so slowly, it felt like dodging around standing objects. And I was like, wait a second. They could have been... Is that how he drives all the time? I wonder if that's just how he does it and they just have never really described that before. But maybe he's just never been in such a, like, densely populated place.
Yeah.
But finally, they get to the ballet studio. I think there's a part, too, where Alice is like, everyone shut the fuck up. Be quiet. They make a plan. She tells everyone to go in, like, different directions. And Edward is, like, gonna go through the door, which is how chapter 26 starts on there. And this is stuff that, like, we have seen in Twilight, as well as in the movie as well. Far more descriptions of blood in this one, though. Since we're getting it from a conscious person rather than an unconscious person, which is rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is a bummer, I would say. Just a lot of, like, pools of blood, lakes of blood.
Oh, God.
Like,
so gruesome.
Lots of things that makes it hard to believe that Bella is able to carry on and sustain conversations if she has lost that amount.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sure, it's fiction. There's a part in this that I expected falsely for Edward to say Carlisle's name like Rob does in the movie, just because it's so ingrained in my head. But that's just a me thing. I was curious how you all felt about this chapter, getting it from Edward's perspective, because we see a little bit in the movie, but I feel like there's some further details that we get from this chapter specifically.
I mean, you can really see that he's freaking the fuck out.
He is.
I feel like more
so nervous.
So than Twilight or even the movie. He's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And also, I think too that, like, the actual bite, like, it feels like it takes so much longer to get there, you know?
Yes.
Because you can hear him having this, like, internal battle in his brain, being like, fuck, if I do it, then I'll kill her, but if I don't do it, she'll turn into a vampire. It's like, fuck, and Alice is like, motherfucker, you gotta go! And Carla's like, motherfucker, you gotta go! And he's like, I'm busy, I'm thinking, I'm panicking, leave me alone.
I think...
Yeah, no, I agree.
One of the things that I found about that part in this too, which is so interesting, is that in the movie, I feel like they captured that pretty well from Bella's side, is that she's like in her own world.
Yeah,
but Edward is too. Like, he's having his own conversation with her.
Right.
And, like, he is always, more so because he doesn't listen to women, but he is, like, having his own discussion with her at this time. And I feel like that's really clear in not only just this chapter, but in the movie as well, when he is, like, begging her to survive and, like, urging her that it's going to be okay, which is interesting. And I think it makes a lot of sense about Rob having the partial draft at that time, which is cool. I thought that actually made a lot of sense at that time. One of the things that surprised me about this, just in like a funny way, is that Carlisle came up with the idea of taking the venom out just by having the image of a rattlesnake in his brain. Like,
this was my favorite part.
Not like any of his medical training, like, or just existence of being a vampire. Like, nothing about that informed this decision at all. He was like, wait a minute. There's something in nature that I can go back to.
Snake.
What? What are you talking about?
Something about that was so pure to me, of just like no words, no thoughts, even just an image.
Rattlesnakes.
Just rattlesnake.
I do love too that he comes up with this idea and he's like, well, I can't do it. Like, you have to do it, Eddie boy. Sorry. Like, there's blood all over the place. I gotta do some stuff over here. But you can suck it out, even though, you might just totally lose it.
I agree. I think that is my favorite change in this chapter, is that Carlisle in this chapter is very busy. Like, he's preoccupied.
Right.
He's like, you have to take care of this, Edward. I'm busy saving your girlfriend's life. Like, there's a part where Edward mentions that his hands are moving so fast, fixing her head stitches, that his hands are like invisible.
Right.
Which is a really like striking image. And he's just like, Edward, you have to take care of this. I'm busy right now. Like, just get your shit together. Whereas Edward can never get his shit together. He's always freaking out.
Yeah.
And I love that a lot.
Yeah, I respect it.
I identify with it a lot as a fellow Gemini who cannot get their shit together. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
Anyways, obviously Bella's like alive, but like kind of barely.
Still alive, but she's barely breathing,
And yep, it'd be like that sometimes. And now they have to deal with the aftermath, which will be very interesting to see from someone who is going to be conscious during that.
Yeah.
So we will have, next week will be chapters 27 and 28.
Hell yeah.
So we will start to see that aftermath and the hospital scene from someone who will be awake during it, which will be interesting.
Yeah.
We have so many fantastic patrons to thank.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Would you like to start this time?
Absolutely, I would. Shout out Mallory Hardwick.
Pew, pew, pew.
Bye bye.
All right, Katie Black.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Kylie Minty.
Point, point.
Pew, 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 pew.
Shout out Elizabeth James.
Pew, 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 pew.
Thank you, Jess Love.
Ow,
Pew,
yeah.
Pew.
Thank you, Alex Dornan.
Ooh. Shout out Carrie Goldberg.
Pew, 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 pew.
Mickey Meyer.
Pew, pew,
Ow,
pew, pew, pew,
yeah.
pew, pew. Thank you to Zoe Steele.
Boing, boing, boing.
Pew, 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 pew.
Shout out Rebecca Cullen.
Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew.
Shout out to Amy Taylor.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Mulch Gray.
Mulch!
Mulch. Pew, 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 pew. Mulch. Pew, pew.
Shout out Taylor, Brown, Town, Lautner.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew. Shout out Kelly Beck.
Pew, 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 pew. My mom.
Yeah.
Thank you to Aaron Salinger.
Boing, boing,
Pew,
boing.
pew,
Pew, pew.
Thank you, Sophia Salinger.
pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew. Shout out to Dana Kavanaugh.
Pew, pew,
Dana
pew.
Kavanaugh. Pew, 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 pew.
Shout out to Danae Swan.
Ow, ow.
Pew, 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 pew.
Shout out Jessica Hale.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
This is the part I have been waiting the most for. I'm so excited.
Allie's finally awake for this
I am
moment.
awake. I'm so excited to know what fan fiction that you brought to the space today.
Yes. Okay. So this is called Unexpected Options by Wish I Were Bella on Archive of Our Own,
Oh my God.
Ooh.
which is my favorite fan fiction website, by the way. Anyway,
Sure, yeah.
so the whole premise of it is that Edward will not have sex with Bella because Alice saw that Bella was going to die. So all of the Cullens are like, all right, I'll take one for the team. And they all pretty much have sex with Bella. But, so this is when they're all training for the newborn attack.
Okay.
Jasper had Carlisle pinned to the ground with just his left arm, but Bella could see how his entire body was contributing to the effort. Jasper's muscles were taut and flexed in all the right places. Bella noticed how tight Jasper's jeans were, how close-fitting his shirt was. For the first time, Bella took note that even his cowboy boots were alluring.
Oh my God.
Jasper was hot. Bella was roused from her revelry by Edward returning to her side, sliding his hand down her arm and grasping her hand in his. He bent down to whisper in her ear, "It's hard to focus on the quick movements, I'm sure. But we all know what we're doing, Bella. Please don't worry." Edward had apparently mistaken her increased heart rate and lip biting for worry rather than infatuation. Thank God for small miracles, Bella thought.
Oh my God.
It gets a lot more crazy, but yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
something.
There's 23 chapters if you ever, want to go and read it.
Sure.
It's a good time.
Yeah. Sexy cowboy boots? What's better than that? You know?
Of course.
Oh my
Doesn't get
God.
better
You know?
What kills me is that, they're writing Jasper, wearing them during this, highly physical scene. I feel like cowboy boots would not be conducive to that whatsoever.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it is hard to imagine that, but I'm glad that they persevered, you know?
Totally.
I know.
Emily, it has been a blast to have you this week.
I've had so much fun. Thank you, guys.
Where can folks support your work online?
You can follow me on TikTok. It's at Edward, EDWERD, Cullen,
Nice.
CULLEN.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
Hell yeah.
Fantastic. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
Get bit.
and get whipped.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh wait.
Ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. Our theme music is by Eli Krauss, and our artwork is by Maddie Padilla. Follow the show on Twitter at Into the Twilight, and support us on Patreon at patreon.com/intothetwilight. Send us an email or a fanfiction at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can find Allie at Into Wild Places and me at Cody Curl.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.